In order to understand the distinction between your thinking mind and your awareness, it's helpful to notice that while your thinking mind can't function without your awareness in the background, your awareness isn't at all dependent on the movement of your mind. A nice metaphor for understanding this distinction is the ocean and the waves. The waves are completely dependent on the ocean because the waves are nothing but the surface movement of the ocean. No more ocean, no more waves. But if the waves cease to be, the vast ocean with its great depths remain. In the same way, your awareness is actually the vast ocean of consciousness within which the waves of your thoughts rise and fall. Now, if you're living mostly on the level of the waves, that's the ego, the me, with its problems, concerns, successes, and failures. Of course, that's part of who you are on the surface of your consciousness, but the question is that where you want to live? Or do you want to live in the vast depths of your consciousness, in the fullness of who you are, beneath those little waves of your mind-based identity? This week's Torah reading is Parshat Mishpatim. Mishpatim means judgments. It begins with God telling Moses, Ve'ele hamishpatim asher tasim lifnehem. And these are the judgments you will place before them. It then goes on to talk about various civil laws that Moses is to teach the Israelites. But in this first sentence, there's a special hint about how to connect with the vast ocean of consciousness that you are, rather than be trapped by the waves on the surface. It says that the mishpatim, the judgments, should be lifnehem, before them. In other words, don't get unconsciously absorbed into the judgments of your mind, but rather see the judgments as if they're before you. That means don't try to stop your judgments or get rid of them, but simply notice them and let them be. The more you practice noticing your judgments without judging your judgments, the more you'll begin to feel yourself as the noticing rather than the judging. And that simple noticing is the vast ocean of consciousness beneath the waves of thinking. But in order to really keep your judgments lifanecha, before you, so that you don't get trapped by them, you have to be willing to stay with the truth of whatever you're perceiving without imposing your own interpretation. The Hasidic Rebbe, the seer of Lublin, once said, I prefer sinners who know that they're sinners rather than righteous people who know that they're righteous people. Now, why would he say that? Because if you know that you're a sinner, you're probably seeing yourself truthfully. After all, most of us make at least a few mistakes once in a while. But if you see yourself as perfectly righteous, you're probably interpreting things in a skewed way to satisfy a certain self-image. And self-image, otherwise known as ego, is on the level of the waves. Of course, nowadays, there can be just as much ego in putting yourself down as in putting yourself up, but the point is to let go of self-image. Let go of needing things to be a certain way, of needing to be seen in a certain way, and to stay with your actual experience. Because the part of you that knows your actual experience is that inner, vast ocean of consciousness. So in this week of Shabbat Mishpatim, the Sabbath of judgments, let's practice seeing whatever judgments arise in the mind, allowing them to come and go in the space of this moment through the practice of presence and meditation. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.